because we've been into it now a few years, I'm kind of seeing the full life cycle of something coming in and then having a life-changing wealth creation event at the end of it, like Kata that I mentioned, who's part of our coaching team now. She's only been in the business 2 years, and she's just had a multi-7, if not 8-figure exit with all the details on the back end. And she's been able to achieve that in 2 years. And for me, whilst I can sit here and make money in business, which is great for my kids and my legacy and all that sort of stuff, the impact of that is very, very very powerful. So I'm really looking forward to exploring that. I'm really looking forward to how can we reach more people? How can we build more autonomy, create more success, and really show people that entrepreneurship is the future. And if you want to take control of your life, you absolutely can with entrepreneurship.
Welcome to Future Driven. I'm Adam Kopp, and on this podcast, I talk with entrepreneurs and industry professionals about the challenges and the wins in their business. See the vision, drive the future. So welcome to episode 23 of the Future Driven podcast. Today, I've got Dan Ashburn with me today from the Titan Network. Dan, thanks so much for taking some time.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Adam. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dan and I were just kind of catching up before we hit record, and he was already shelling out a lot of great stories. So looking forward to kind of hearing your story, Dan. But before we jump into what you are doing today, give us a brief background of your career. Where did you start? What kind of led you to what your current business is today?
Yeah, sure. So grew up very great supportive family till about the age of, say, 12, 13, early teens. Parents split. Found myself out in Europe, living in Europe with my mum, and for various reasons found myself needing to kind of be like strong and support the family at quite a young age. Dad was always successful, but not too present. So it always made me I always knew what was possible, but always had to go out there and find my own path. And from an early age of kind of like the internet and entrepreneurship, I got hooked while my friends were kind of out there like playing football or soccer to the Americans, out there playing football. I was kind of in my bedroom building websites. So I think my early success, I actually sold a website when I was 13 years old, and it was like back on the days of like GeoCities for anyone who's been around that long. Nice. Yeah, so that's kind of where I got my feet wet. But then I ended up getting in a bit of trouble where we were living at it was the Canary Islands, Tenerife in Spain. So found myself back in the UK for various reasons, and was in this trying to go to college while doing all this affiliate marketing stuff, but then also helping other people out with some tech. And long story short, I found myself in the military. So the military kind of recruited me because I was this young guy. I was sharp with tech. I understood at that time like old school sort of coding languages and stuff. Ended up doing kind of 4 or 5 years in the military, tour of the Middle East, all of that. But one thing always remained true. I was always sort of dabbling on the internet at night. I was reselling hosting. I was building websites, doing a lot of Amazon associate affiliate marketing type stuff back then. And for one reason or another, kind of came to this decision point of, do I continue in the military and go for commission and do all the stuff I was doing? Or do I go and focus on my passion, which was essentially building businesses, being an entrepreneur and leveraging the internet to do that? So started an agency, went from back bedroom to my mother-in-law's garage to 30, 40 staff and a big office in the center of Birmingham in the UK. But found myself really like feeling like a slave to the business because I had all these clients, all these different industries. We were quite big in dental at that point with Invisalign. And I came across the e-commerce sort of opportunity of essentially creating value through releasing good quality products and then leveraging Amazon as a conversion engine and sort of driving sales. And because of my background, I got a name for myself quite quickly, and really out of a need of helping people. People kept coming to me, Dan, can you help me do this? Can you help me do this? And fast forward 7 years now, we do 8 figures on Amazon a year in e-com through various partnerships, owned brands, management deals, etc. And then through a trip that I helped run in China called China Magic, where we take 100 people to China twice a year and help them source products, Titan Network was born. And we're up to nearly 800 members now, all focused on Amazon. And it's kind of been like the perfect storm in the last couple of years. With the pandemic and everything that's happened with e-commerce, all the money's moved online. You probably know yourself, Adam, like everyone's shopping online, spending more money on Amazon. Sure. The big VCs out of Wall Street. I actually watched Wolf of Wall Street this week, and it kind of reminded me kind of how much money's there. The big VCs have taken notice of what we're doing. Yep. And people are getting sort of 8, and even I've got 2 friends that have exited for 9 figures this year with Amazon brands that they built 2-3 years ago. So it's kind of been a wild journey, always been e-commerce, internet marketing, entrepreneurial focused, and through various trials and tribulations, I've kind of found myself where I am today.
Nice. So break down a little bit more the Titan network. So kind of give us, so because offline we were talking about you got a couple of different verticals within your
Yeah.
business. What is the Titan network? It sounds like e-commerce focused, but you've got some coaching in there, you've got some masterminds, but is the agency also fall in there as well?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, everyone's fairly aware of like coaching businesses and masterminds, kind of,
Yeah.
and all these separate verticals. So, a mastermind, a group of like-minded people in the industry come together and share resource ideas and try and innovate. Coaching, people are looking for clarity and kind of a proven step by step, generally because they want a blueprint that they can just shortcut the success, or they've attempted it themselves and they couldn't really get there. And then nowadays with technology, you also need tools and softwares in most of these industries to succeed for data analysis, etc. Titan was really born out of the back of helping people out in China and realizing that when we took people out of their own environment for 12 days, the acceleration of success in their business was paramount and uncomparable to anything else. And we kind of thought, well, how do we continue this? So there's lots of courses, there's lots of coaching programs, lots of masterminds, lots of tools and softwares, lots of service-based businesses out there. But really organically, what we did, instead of kind of releasing a course that maybe was just about me or sort of surrounding one person's success,
Yep.
Athena and I have always been very strong on networking. We said, how can we bring together the best minds in the industry and create a professionally organized environment platform where someone can come in at the start and very quickly get all of the tools, resources, mentorship, clarity, everything they need to accelerate success. And that's where Titan was born. So some people call it a mastermind, some people call it coaching, some people call it software tools, all that stuff. And it's all of those things. But essentially what Titan is a platform for scale for e-commerce focused entrepreneurs who are leveraging the power of Amazon.
Yeah.
And the whole mantra in Titan is about really creating life with intention. Like, let's focus on how do we create a business that fuels our life whilst keeping a mind on the end goal, whether that be to sell the business or anything. And if you follow us on social or anything, you see we do just that. We create life with intention along the way.
Nice. So I know the answer to this question, but how did COVID treat your business?
Well, I was on both sides of this because I still own an agency in the dental space and we work
Yeah.
with brands like Invisalign, etc. And then I have my e-commerce, which is my main business and the training there. I was very fortunate. I'm very grateful to say that I was on the winning side of COVID,
Right.
although I had a lot of responsibility to my dental company and we almost had to close the doors on it. So I definitely see the pain in both. But yeah, I mean, if COVID's done anything for any sector, e-commerce is unbelievable. We've just seen
Right.
10 years of e-commerce growth in a single year in 2020 because of just the whole shift online. And
Yep.
then everyone thought that bubble was going to pop or people were going to slow down, but it just hasn't. It's just accelerating.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So yeah, in short, it's blown it up, to be honest.
Yeah, and you said something there, 10 years compounded into one,
Yeah.
and we all know that it's not just gonna go back. There's all these things that people have gotten used to, interviews via Zoom, shopping
Yeah.
online, the ease of e-commerce, especially Amazon, has just made it's all about time, right? It's all about speed
100%.
and time, and to your kind of point of the Titan network and how you're creating this opportunity for a better life. That in a way, that's what e-commerce does. Like, I mean, I constantly, my wife needs something, we can order it in 30 seconds versus an hour or two
I
plus
see.
dinner with the kids.
Yeah, it just really gives you all the benefits. I mean, as a consumer, it gives you every benefit. And now as a business owner, like one thing I really like about the e-commerce business and specifically Amazon is name another business that's fairly low investment startup. You don't touch or hold any of the inventory. You deal with 10% of the customer service because Amazon takes care of all that stuff. And the only marketing that you really need to understand is what are people searching? How do I make my product show up?
Yeah.
And you can run a very successful 7-figure business in 30 minutes a day, a couple hours a week once it's up and running. And it's, yeah, so from a business owner standpoint and from a consumer standpoint, I strongly believe, and obviously Wall Street agrees with all this money coming in, that the e-commerce is here to stay and it's only going to gain market share.
Okay, so let's break it down a little bit more. So I guess I have kind of two paths I want to go down. The first one is, are you seeing more competitive advertising space, and how do you compete when it comes
Yeah.
to sponsored ads, featured products, things like that. That's got to get more and more competitive.
Yeah, it does. For two agency guys here talking who know kind of the landscape of Google and Facebook and how that's all stuff, that whole sort of history has matured, Amazon is definitely becoming Google. It's becoming less of an organic product engine, and it's becoming more of an advertising platform. Like if you look above the fold on Amazon, you'll see that 80% of the placements now are paid placements, and the organic placements are dropping. If you combine that with, I keep mentioning this money, but we've been a very underground industry for the last 6 years or so, and it's only in the last couple of years all this institutional money is now coming into the industry, which means people can afford to go deeper, people can afford to go longer, they can invest more up front because they're confident in their lifetime value and that they're confident in their back end numbers. So look, it is getting more competitive, don't get me wrong, but and there's only so many placements on the platform, but with the shopper demand on the platform outgrowing the selling demand. By that, I mean there's more buyers joining the platform than there is sellers joining the platform. So there's a growing demand for products and there's not enough product supplying it. There's always opportunity. And then all we do is the more nimble, the more smaller sellers against these sort of institutionalized brands, is we get more strategic. Whereas like a lot of these bigger, more competitive people will just sort of throw advertising budget at very broad terms, very broad placements. We say, well, who is it that's actually using this product? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Can we pull out their intent in the customer search terms? So instead of selling, say, blue light blocking glasses, we'll go after blue light blocking glasses for men or for entrepreneurs or whatever that might be, and just place that budget sort of smarter and more precisely. And Amazon's definitely rewarding that because it's a conversion driven engine. So the higher your click-through rates, the higher your conversions, meaning the number of sales you're generating, they're rewarding it with cheaper advertising. So it's definitely going in our favor. You just have to be a bit smarter.
Okay. And then, so for those that don't necessarily know, me included in a ways, but I mean, I'm a user. So I see kind of, I pay attention to the amount of photos, if there's a video, the description, all the detail, like I start to trust the product more when it's way more information and it's very transparent and it has like, if it's a product targeting, I've got 3 boys, right? So I search for toys. I mean, shoot, my son is watching videos on Amazon, like he would with YouTube. And because he's watching these motorized trucks or whatever, right? And so he's asking for the phone so he can look. He's 8 years old. Yeah, sorry, 8 years old, and he's tracking or watching Amazon like it's YouTube. And so not sure why I went on that whole tangent, but I guess it coming back, it just goes back to the more strategic, as you said, going deeper on individual products to gain that trust and be awarded by Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, as a consumer, I mean, the first thing you're looking at when you search for something is the main image. Once you've quickly checked the price and reviews and that's comfortable with you, you click onto the listing. Then the only thing you're looking at is the reviews. You're dropping down to the bottom and then scanning up to the top. You might flick through a few images, and providing the price is good, you click add to cart. So people really, really trust the content and the curated content on the platform. And it's funny you mentioned video. There's a stat out there. It's something like 70% of purchases in China are done by a video. It's something that's not exact, but it's around that number. And Amazon are heading in that direction. They've just released Amazon Live. So what you'll see now on these listings is actually live streams of people presenting products, and brands that are smart have been bringing in celebrities. Like they've had some really big name celebrities just sat there reviewing products all day. So I think as consumers, we're definitely going to see more of that. We're definitely going to see more of sort of media content rich, taking away and really trying to compensate for that experience of going into a store, picking up the product and feeling it. As a brand owner, we now have the ability to do that on Amazon. And you can do it from a point of like, I run it from my office here. I've got staff all over the world, but I run it from my office here, and we're into 8 figures in revenue. You couldn't do that 10 years ago. You need the brick and mortar, the warehousing, the logistical systems, the teams do customer service. You can literally run a brand on Amazon nowadays, and 100% of the sales from a laptop on a beach, and earn a pretty penny for doing so as well.
Nice. So one of the guys that was on my podcast earlier, he works for Amazon. He actually worked for Amazon Explore. Have
Yeah.
you dug into that at all? Are you aware of what Amazon Explorer is?
I haven't, but I understand it's kind of, excuse me, the kind of like new and up and coming piece to. Am I right in understanding it's kind of like their take on like personalization and new stuff coming through? Is that the Explore program?
Well, it's essentially like I could I could go to a zoo in the UK virtually, and
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, yeah. Amazon. Last year, Amazon made a sizable investment into virtual reality tech as well.
yeah.
So it seems like this is what they're trying to do. They're really investing into that sensory experience away from physically being there.
Yeah, and so one of the things, the reason why I bring that up is so right now it's like tours of like famous monuments or like a zoo, or we
Yeah,
went to my family and I went into a zoo, if you will, in Costa Rica, right? So
yeah,
it's a one-way camera, so we can see them, they can't see us, they can hear us, and we can do any request. Hey, can you go back and we want to see the leopard again, or we want to see the monkeys, right? So it's just like set time, and you get like a personal tour guide. But what I thought was really interesting, kind of in your space, is now they're going to start introduce shopping into that. So now you can go into maybe the Louis Vuitton store in Paris and have your own personal shopper there, and then you can purchase it there right through Amazon or scarves or whatever it might be. It's just super crazy, from what you're doing to then this experience added
mm.
into it. It's just going to drive more and more the e-commerce world.
Yeah, 100%. If you think I've again a stat off the top of my head, but the adoption of e-com versus total retail is only into the high teens at the moment. I believe like maybe low 20s. It kind of accelerated in the last couple of years, and they're still trying to assess what that looks like. If you look at there's at least still 80% market share from total retail to e-commerce to be taken. You think where this is going to be 10 years from now? Like whether I believe distributors and middlemen will be a thing of the past. Brands
Yeah.
will be direct to consumer via platforms and marketplaces like Amazon. And for the everyday person who's maybe building a business or wants to break free from the 9 to 5, for me, it's all about freedom of choice. Whatever I want to do in life, I can do. You have that power at your fingertips. All you need is a laptop and a working internet connection. And then you introduce the virtual reality stuff and drone services and distributed sort of last mile delivery that Amazon are working on. I think we're going to see a completely different landscape a few years from now.
Yeah, no, for sure. So speaking of that, and on that same path, what do you see in that's coming up in the future, or what are things that you're in the short term kind of working around, playing around, kind of as this starts to unfold a little more?
Yeah, for sure. So I think there's two sides to that answer. I mean, from a personal fulfillment standpoint, I am really enjoying right now the kind of the impacts and the power this platform Titan network that we've created is able to deliver. Because we've been into it now a few years, I'm kind of seeing the full life cycle of something coming in and then having a life-changing wealth creation event at the end of it, like Kata that I mentioned, who's part of our coaching team now. She's only been in the business 2 years, and she's just had a multi-7, if not 8-figure exit with all the details on the back end. And she's been able to achieve that in 2 years. And for me, whilst I can sit here and make money in business, which is great for my kids and my legacy and all that sort of stuff, the impact of that is very, very, very powerful. So I'm really looking forward to exploring that. I'm really looking forward to how can we reach more people? How can we build more autonomy, create more success, and really show people that entrepreneurship is the future. And if you want to take control of your life, you absolutely can with entrepreneurship. E-commerce being the best place to focus your effort, Amazon being the best e-commerce platform. Now, secondary to that in the business, we're in a very exciting time right now. It only takes a few Google searches of companies like Thrasio, who are kind of tearing up Wall Street right now, and these other type aggregators, to understand that in the next 5 to 10 years, the amount of money being pumped into e-commerce is phenomenal. And for anyone that takes advantage of that, and it only takes 2 to 3 years max to do it, you can create a seriously life-changing event for yourself. So for me, I'm at 140 staff now distributed across the world, Europe, US, UK, Philippines, all over the place. And we've just taken the decision we're going to continue to do what we do, continue to build, manage, and do these partnerships that we do. But we're just going to see how many of these brands can we build, create value, deliver high quality products, and then at the end of it, get a nice payday for doing so from this big money that's coming through. So really, there's two focuses for me. It's creating more impact and then continuing to ride this wave that is called e-commerce.
So one of the things I just kind of thought of is what would be your I guess recommendation for a business who has notoriously done everything through partners. So
Mm,
they're B2B sales.
yeah.
They've in the last couple of years they started to dabble on Amazon. If you could help predict the future, do you recommend that those businesses start going all in on Amazon and not alienate the B2B relationships, but also add uh direct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually been involved in helping a few sort of traditional brands execute this transition. And what that plan looks like traditionally is renegotiating your distribution contracts with your distributors and your sort of trade customers to say that you own the Amazon channel. And the
Yeah.
reason you want to do that as well is you also want to control the price of your product. So Amazon, if you've got 10 sellers who are allowed to sell your products on Amazon because they've got the rights to sell your product, then they're fighting on the price. The buy box price is coming down, but that's bad for your brand because people use Amazon as a price check against other websites, other stores. You'll see people walking around Target and Walmart checking Amazon to see if Walmart's get a better price. If they
Yeah.
haven't, they'll order it on Amazon. It'll be at their house 2 hours later. So
Yeah.
Amazon really has become that staple hold sort of check for pricing. But then as a business, the amount of opportunity on Amazon and platforms, Walmart's catching up as well, knowing that the future of business is on these platforms. If you can take control, you'll outsell your B2C via distributor business by going direct B2C and providing you can create enough margin, which Amazon take around 15% traditionally, 15% category dependent. Providing you can create that margin, you can create a hell of a lot more profit. You own the relationship with the end user. You can actually create a brand instead of sort of having to be cut down on trade prices and selling to distributors. So there is still a place for retail and distribution, of course. But those that are kind of looking 5, 10 years ahead, 15 years ahead in their business should be saying, we should take this seriously because this is where the future of commerce lies.
Okay. Awesome. So tell us how can someone get involved in your Titan network? Just for those that are listening, do you have a bit of a starter program or kind of you need looking for people that are already in the e-commerce space?
No, so we have two programs. We have Titan Network, which is for someone that's got going on Amazon, they're kind of figuring it out and they want to hit this sort of accelerate button and just trajectory into success. But then we also have a platform and a program called Titan Genesis,
Yep.
which is kind of like a boot camp style, partnered with a very good training program in our industry, to take you from knowing nothing about this business to having your first brand, first product live on Amazon in 3 to 6 months is kind of the timeline on that. But for all of it, you can visit titannetwork.com or follow us on Instagram at Titan Network Official, and connect with us that way. But yeah, for anyone that wants to get involved, it's a fantastic industry, fantastic opportunity. And if you're looking for change or to create some sort of wealth event, there's no better industry than this one that we're in right now. It really is something special.
Awesome. Dan, thanks so much for taking the time, man. I enjoyed talking with you.
And you, Adam, thanks for having me on, mate.
All right. Thank you.